so Bloomberg asked the American public, they listed a bunch of the recent offensive things that Trump has said. Now, this doesn't include, hey, somebody with a gun go murder Hillary Clinton, so maybe that would actually beat it. But we're going to play a video for you. This is what the most Americans found to be truly offensive.
Written by a nice reporter. Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Oh, maybe that's what I said. This is 14 years ago. They didn't do a retraction.
That report he is talking about is Serge Kovaleski, who now works for the New York Times. As you can see right there, he suffers from a chronic condition that impairs movement of his arms.
Jeez. So
I'm glad to see that, because to me, that's not close. That's it. That's
really?
the one. Because it's
worse
not just
than the ban all Muslims, or
yeah, it's worse than ban all
wall.
Muslims. It's not worse as a policy decision. Ban all Muslims, build the wall. Those are horrendous policy decisions that have an impact on many more people.
Yeah.
But this one is a particular, because you insult an entire group of people. It's and somehow it's dulled than is a specific targeting of one person. It's why when Alex Jones talks about a conspiracy on 9/11, it's less offensive than the Sandy Hook didn't happen and those are all actors. Because those are specific children and specific families whose lives are ruined forever that he's making his show out of, that he's having sport with. So here is Trump talking about one specific guy dealing with one specific issue and triumphing over it, right? He's a reporter for the New York Times, for crying out loud. And Trump mocks him. And the Clinton, they have a very effective commercial out that I happen to have seen online.
I saw it.
Right, where the parents of a kid, I think with spina bifida, and the kid goes to school, and they're like, and everybody loves her at school, and she's brought joy to their life. They found out a couple weeks before she was born, or 20 weeks or so, that she had spina bifida, and they're like, the kids at her school know not to make fun of her.
Yeah.
And here's a grown-up running for president in front of a TV camera,
with cameras on him,
thinking that that's okay. So
in a stadium.
In a stadium.
Full of people.
The stadium doing it. You wouldn't do that like in your darkest, most private moment with someone.
That's right.
And here he is.
You wouldn't do it in the mirror.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the reason why this struck a nerve with so many Americans is, despite the fact that he said so many hateful things about specific groups of people, including, Mexicans, Muslims, people of color, a lot of times, even among his supporters, there's this us versus them mentality with all the different groups of people that he says disparaging things about. But when it comes to those with disabilities, it impacts people of all nationalities, all races, doesn't matter what your socioeconomic status is. There are disabled people in almost every family in America. And when you have someone stand up there running for president and make fun of someone who has a disability like that, I think that, of course, it's going to strike a nerve with most people. It resonates because people feel things based on their personal experiences. And I think that's, the reason why that's the top thing that annoyed people.
Yeah. So I want to give you some numbers. More than 6 in 10 say they were bothered a lot that Trump mocked a reporter's physical disability, the highest level of displeasure among the issues challenging Trump that were tested. Hopefully, a good portion of the 4 of 10 were bothered at least a little bit. Hopefully. Now, because I have info on both the Trump stuff, but also Hillary Clinton, by the way, who did not escape quite a bit of popular scorn. More than half say they were bothered a lot when he said that he alone can fix the nation's problems, while 45% say that his suggestion that Russian hackers should try to find Hillary Clinton's emails. Now, on the Hillary Clinton side, she was viewed with the highest level of displeasure for her private email server that was criticized by the FBI director as careless at 58%, almost as high as Trump mocking the physical disability of the reporter.
Jesus.
Her handling of the Benghazi attacks at 55%, and her family's foundation's acceptance of money from foreign governments at 53%. But to quickly circle...
these are all nonsense. Some of those are nonsense stories. Just that if, again, the right drill in Benghazi's got no business being on that list. It's not a thing. It's not a thing.
Benghazi isn't, no, and certainly not her involvement in it. I think if you have a problem with the email server, to be as bothered...
But that's a different thing. Also, right, there's scale. Like, you could be bothered by the scale, but that's, it matters. Like, I'm a big believer in this. Like, obviously, you could disagree with somebody about immigration and agree with them about other stuff, and then you'd find a way politically, if that was your job, to get along with them. But there's a certain things that indicate monstrousness, right? And that's what that indicates. It's why It's why it baffles me that Republicans did not get for so long, well-meaning Republicans, of which there are unbelievably millions, but did not get what was happening in their party because they legitimately seemed blown away. That they were like, did you never watch Fox News? Did you never listen to Rush Limbaugh? Did you not think this was going to happen? This is who you went to dinner with. These are who you surround. This was who your supporters were.
Yeah.
Like I think George Will is like, what?
Yeah.
You know, nah, not my thing. We're not racist.
Right. And George Will, the guy who mocks rape victims.
Well, I forgot about that. That slipped my mind in making this point. So, like that Trump thing that's a deal closer right there on everything. No one who does that has a good thing to say about anything else. That's why the David Duke thing is different than Henry Kissinger, because some of it is perception. Even though Henry Kissinger has done far more harm in the world than David Duke, but Henry Kissinger doesn't stand up and say N-words should go back to Africa and take the Jews with him.
He just bombs them.
Yeah, that's right.
He just kills people.
So it's an indication of what kind of person you are, and it is permanently revealing.
Yeah. However,
Clint Eastwood,
it might be.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It might be that we're being unfair to Donald Trump because as recently as July 29th, he insisted, "I didn't know what he looked like. I didn't know he was disabled." Talking about Kovaleski.
Yeah, he just happened.
You should see this guy is in the soundbite, isn't it?
Also, when you ask Kovaleski, he says, Donald and I were on a first-name basis for years.
Yeah, look, the thing about Donald Trump...
They knew each other for more than a decade.
Yeah, that drives me crazy is he says hideous or does hideous things, and then as soon as he gets a little bit of criticism for it, it's like, oh, I was just being sarcastic. Oh, I didn't know he had a disability. You're a fucking idiot, okay?
You're
an
liar.
idiot.
You're a liar.
Yeah, you're a liar, and the people who buy it are idiots, okay?
Yeah.
The people who buy it are among the dumbest Americans in the country, and I'm embarrassed that they're part of this country, okay? And if any of them are watching the show right now, you're fucking stupid.